G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. Here we are going for a ride today in the Yarra Valley region in Victoria. In front of me we have the 2025 CF Moto 450MT, and today we're going to be talking about a tune that's been provided by Clutchless motorcycles, and that is the ECU reflash they provide for this bike. For my specific setup, I have a full Van Diemen exhaust system, so that's from the headers all the way back to the slip-on. It has no cat, but it does have the rear baffle inserted. I'm also running funnel web pre-filter and replacement main air filter as well. So that's my setup. However, this tune will work for different modification levels. It also works for the standard bike as well. So if you have standard everything, but you want an enhanced tune and to refine the power curve and add all the benefits that a reflash does, it will also work for a standard bike as well. So it's always pretty hard to convey what a tune is like on a video, given that so much of the improvements you actually feel them. However, I'm going to take you for a ride out into those hills today, and we're going to get stuck into it, and I think you get a pretty good idea of just how well it performs. Let's get stuck into it. So if you're looking to get a tune, there's probably a few considerations you want to be making. Probably with this bike, the biggest complaint I've often heard, especially when the bike was initially released and people were coming to terms with how it behaves, was the snatchy throttle. So a lot of people didn't like how twitchy it was off the bottom end at idle speeds. If you're looking to smooth out that power curve at the bottom at those low RPM and slow speeds, specifically like when you're going around a sharp bend, like a hairpin, this new tune, this revised tune by Deceleration, sorts that issue out and makes it very easy to crawl. And like I said, I got the 15 tooth front sprocket, so it's not as easy for me to crawl at some of those speeds. But for a 14 tooth, like those single track sort of speeds, this definitely helps a lot. And I'll put in a clip here of what it's like with a cold start. Often, if you're new to tuning and doing custom tunes, anything like that, or if you've had a car that's dynoed or a motorcycle with a custom tune, sometimes those cold starts can be tricky. Another issue with the default tune I found was just on deceleration. It just didn't feel nice. Just didn't feel nice on the deceleration. I didn't feel a lot of engine control and tone, whereas I can definitely tell it's on the deceleration. It's a lot smoother. And it gives the impression as a rider, when you've got a smoother deceleration, specifically like down a steep decline, which we're going to see soon, if you've got a nice smooth power curve on the decel, it's confidence inspiring and it makes everything a lot easier. It makes those, oh, better focus here. Ooh, bit of a wheelie. Please no car. Ooh, slippery. Hello. Alright, sorry, having too much fun. Alright, so I've got a big, look at that view. I keep getting distracted. This is really dangerous. Got a good decline here. Slow it down. Now, one thing you will notice too is that there's a fair bit of popping. Just from my experience with previous motorcycles, mostly sports bikes. I've always been a big fan of a clutchless upshift and downshift, so I rarely use my clutch. I'll pretty much only use it when I'm crawling really slow or doing something really technical, or when I'm starting and stopping. Other than that, I really don't use my clutch at all. For better or worse, that's my riding style. So I do get a little bit of popping, certainly at high RPM when you get to a aggressive and abrupt cut of the accelerator, which I tend to do a fair bit. But it's just the right amount of popping, just the right amount. This current iteration just feels like such a well-rounded and refined tune. It's just smooth, it's crisp, it's still very bitey on the bottom end, but it just doesn't take you by surprise. I absolutely love it. Like, I'm having way too much fun here, and I'm not even on the fun roads yet. One of the main things people always want to know about is dyno charts when it comes to an ECU tune. And look, I don't have specifics as far as the exact horsepower increase to the first decimal place. However, I can only tell you how it feels as a rider and how happy I am with the performance. Look, it's a 450, don't expect it to be an 800. I think that's probably one of the biggest issues and one of the biggest pitfalls that people make, is that you buy a 450 or you ride a 450 and you're anticipating that all this extra horsepower is going to come out of what. So keep the expectations grounded and realistic, and I'm very happy with this. I mean, especially if you're riding a lot off-road like I am, there's only so much power you can put down, and even then I can't even use all of this off-road. I could be more tactful the way that I accelerate to increase my traction. I'm a bit heavy-handed, but that's part of the fun for me. I enjoy when the back steps out. I enjoy trying to tame the bike like that. I'd love that. So yeah, horsepower figures, don't know, can't tell you. What does it feel like? I would estimate it's somewhere in the range of 5 to maybe, I think 8 would be a push. I think it's probably around the 5 horsepower range increase. But it's not so much just about chasing power. Again, it's a 450, you know. It's nice if you get that little bit extra, and it is very nice. I would never go back to the standard tune now, never in a million years. So it's very nice. It just makes the whole experience more enjoyable. Let's not go off there, that would be a long way down. But as far as maximising the potential of this motorcycle, I'm very happy with this tune. Inevitably, with any sort of review comes the downsides. What is the downside to this tune? Well, I guess you've got to pay for it, but for $250, if you send in your ECU, they'll remap it for you and they'll send it back to you. You paid the postage and you paid $250. That seems like good value to me. Again, if you've ever had any vehicle custom dyno tuned, you'd be happy for days if all it was, it cost you $250, I'll tell you that. So just to demonstrate that low RPM control and smoothness, so we're crawling along here in second gear, about 1200 RPM, just the smallest throttle input. Very manageable. Hoi! So down to first gear, tight turn, very nice. One of the surprising things for me is the actual fuel economy hasn't changed. I'm still getting 4.2 litres per 100 Ks. It's pretty much the same as it was, which is nice. It's very soft up here at the moment. So yeah, it's very hard to try and convey what a tune what a tune feels like over video. You could argue it's probably impossible. So I'm just taking you for a ride where I enjoy riding. That was a bit big. That was a bit big for a Friday solo ride. Did I mention that it encourages you? Yeah, just a little bit. Whew. It's only like 10 degrees today, but I'm sweating. Brake. Oh yeah, here's a negative. Here's one negative I found out, which is not at all surprising, is that once that traction control kicks in, when you're in the off-road and you forget to put it into off-road mode, that power cut is quite abrupt. I think it always was abrupt. The only difference is now we're putting out a little bit more power. Oh, Jesus. So that does cut, but you shouldn't have that mode on anyway when you're off-road. And that was only under heavy acceleration. So when it kicks in on the street, I wouldn't think it'd be as abrupt because you're not really spanking it like this. Too much fun. Woo! That front wheel comes up very easily, especially going with these whoops. Let's try and stay dry today. So, in addition to getting a wicked tune, if you end up going and contacting SSS motorcycles, they do offer a couple of options. So you can either send in your current ECU, and I might have to do a video of removing the ECU because it can be a little bit tricky if you haven't done it before. So all you need to do is send them in your current ECU, pay them the money for the reflash, which I believe is $250 Australian, and you'll get sent back to you with this wicked tune. And the benefit isn't just if you're chasing power, if you're modding the crap out of your bike like I have. There are benefits to standard bikes having a better tune. If you look pretty much anywhere, one of the key criticisms of this bike has been the abrupt throttle, and just the fuel mapping in general hasn't been very desirable, has left a lot of people wanting. So whether you just have the standard bike and you're not happy with the way it currently performs, or if you've got a slip-on, or you've gone the whole hog like I have and changed pretty much everything you can, it applies to all. It really does. Can you see that throttle? And it is instantaneous. Even though they've managed to smooth out that bottom end so it's not jerky, man, you can still get that power down nice and quick. I struggle with how to think you can get much better than this. This is just too much fun. It puts that power down so nicely between these whoops. I don't even change gear, I just stay in second. And there's still so much rev range above where I'm playing. But it just speaks to the torque available and how easy it is to apply. Alright, 0 to 100, let's do it. Not my best launch, but you get the idea. So that's 15 tooth front sprocket as well. Get the 14 tooth, expect it to be a little bit quicker. So that's basically it, guys. In case it hasn't been made abundantly clear by now, which I'm sure it has, I absolutely love this tune provided by SSS, and I really encourage you, if you're not happy with the current tune on your motorcycle or the standard tune provided by CF Moto, or you're going down the rabbit hole of modifications like I have, I really encourage you to check out their website. I'll put a link down below. Have a peruse of their website and see what they have on offer. And yeah, I guarantee if you go with this tune, you won't be disappointed. And the beauty is, Steve, who I've been talking to at SSS, he has told me he's going to continue to improve upon this tune. So already it's been something that's evolved to this point, given this is version 3. It's something he's been working on since the bike's release. So it will continue to get better. And if there are significant improvements and you want the newest version, say if there's a 3.2 or a 3.1, whatever, or a version 4, you can contact SSS and you just pay the postage and they will update your reflashed ECU with the most current version, which I think is pretty amazing. So you're not going to miss out if this continues to get better, as I expect it will. You can still benefit from that. But I'm going to keep riding for a little bit longer and just enjoy my my weekend. So thanks for viewing, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.